Yep, you are correct. You are seeing that correctly. I am ripping up my wall because one day I decided I did not want to look at this ugly wall in my kitchen anymore. So I impulsively ripped it off. Here we go. So the first thing I did was I got rid of that hardboard. That is what was covering my walls. And I tried my best to not have to remove the trim, but eventually I realized that that hardboard was covered up by the trim. It would be easier to just take the whole thing off. So that is what you see me doing there. So the existing wall that was behind that hardboard was pretty messed up, at least to say. So I decided to watch a couple of videos on how to make that wall smoother, and joint compound was the most recommended product for me to get. So I purchased this at Home Depot and it came pre-mixed, so I just mixed it up by hand, took that little mixer back that you saw there on the screen, and then now you just have to use a smoothing technique to get it applied to the wall. You can see me here just adding pressure, smoothing it up, smoothing it down, and then you'll see me smoothing it from the left and the right too. At this point, I was pretty proud of myself because I have never done this before. So the fact that it was looking so even and smooth, I was like, okay, we are in the game. Here we go. All right, so now that I'm done smoothing, I let that dry for a few hours, and then I went ahead and decided to go with this faux brick wallpaper. And then I just measured the one length, and I needed to see how many I needed. So it looks like I needed 4, actually 3.5. And then I used some of this old hardboard as my guide and a box knife, and I just used that to cut it to the length that I needed. Now you may be wondering, why did I do the wall like that if I'm just gonna cover it up with wallpaper? I will tell you. First thing, I actually was not even going to do this. I was going to do a lime wash wall with like green in the kitchen, but as it was drying, I was looking at more ideas. And when I saw brick walls come up, I was like, ooh, I really want a brick wall. But I didn't have brick wall money. So we went with a faux brick wall and wallpaper. So as you can see here, I am just applying the sticky part of the wallpaper sections at a time. I'm smoothing, peeling the back of it, smoothing that section, and then rinse and repeat that entire process. So I will let you watch more of what I'm doing, and then you'll hear my voice again here in a moment. Okay, so here's the important part, lining up the next section. You really want to make sure those grout lines are lined up as perfect as possible. And then you can see here, I am flipping the wallpaper upside down, seeing which bricks match the most. The original way matched the most, so I flipped it back. And then I am just lining this up right next to each other, not touching, but then also no space to where you can see the wall behind it. And then I'm just taking my time, smoothing it out again, small section by small section, and then making sure, again, all of those grout lines are lined up as much as possible. Not so much worried about the bricks being perfect, but those grout lines really give that realistic illusion. So for this corner piece, I am just making a small little snip here so I can know exactly where the other piece of the wallpaper ends. And then I switch to scissors and I use that hardboard once again as a straight guide. And I just cut that all the way down the length of the wallpaper, cut it in half, and then use that section to work with. Once again, I am lining up those grout lines. I cannot stress this enough. Really makes it look as realistic as possible. And then usually, close up here, there you go. And then usually I was smoothing it from top to bottom, but when I got to this section, I found it easy to smooth it from right to left so that we can get it into that corner and then smooth it down, which I will cut that corner piece off later. Also, if you mess up, do not be afraid to peel it up, replace it, get it where you need it to get it, and then re-stick it and smooth it down because that is going to make it look as professional as possible. And smooth and smooth and smooth that out just like we did before. So for this next section, I didn't measure it like I did before. I actually just counted the bricks and it was 6 bricks that I needed, and then I cut along the grout line, which brought me right to the edge of the windowsill. And then again, I'm just flipping it upside down, seeing which bricks match the most, and the original way was the best match. So then I just line them up with the grout lines and evenly side by side, not overlapping. Oh, this is the part where my son's dad was like, okay, it looks so good. And I was like, right? Look at it. I love the way it's turning out. And then again, line it up, smooth it out. And now I'm just putting on the final touches, cutting on the sections that need to be outlined, and then smoothing it out, giving it one final gloss over. But after that, I was actually done. I just needed to put back on the top trim and the border, but here is the final result. I even added that small section there over my sink. Here is that bottom wall, and we are all finished. This is all for under $200. Thanks for watching, you guys. Bye-bye.